Uh,
Yo, what's up? What's up? All right. So this will basically be a movie. So this is going to be a movie of what if Naruto was the harem god, 18. You could say 18 SSS. I was about to age restrict it, but I didn't do that. So this will be an 18 SS. Um, this will contain a lot of sex, a lot of stuff, and this is just going to be a movie. So sit down, relax, get ready to watch this, and yeah, let's get this started. So how would we start this off? Well, we start off with pretty much, well, the god, the god of lust, the god of all the gods and stuff. And basically, this is where, well, one of the gods talk um about basically, basically bestowing or blessing Naruto with you could say the harem power. Now, well, you could say with the power. Oh, and I should probably say another thing. This will be an 18SS, as this will have Naruto being in the world by himself as the only male, as it's just going to be all females. Yeah. So if you want to know a background story of how Naruto's the only male, I'm just gonna say the Shinobi world was created, but we're just gonna say, you know, this shit happened, but pretty much this is where like Naruto will be born, and Naruto will be born, but actually nah, you know what? Nah, we're just gonna start off with a 17-year-old Naruto. This Naruto is basically absolutely terrible. This terrible. It's just terrible for him. Now this is where one night, Naruto's basically, about to, sling it off and be his potato until basically he just thought about it and says nah, and he just goes to sleep. Now as he's sleeping, this is where a god, she basically smiles and says that she was, well, you could say basically says that she was the goddess and she was to make him the new harem god, you could say. Now, of course, this is where Naruto's saying harem god, which basically she smiles and says that yes, uh, she says yes, and she basically bestowed him the power. Now, when he looks at his hand, or when he looks at side of his, basically has the side of his neck, he'll basically have a heart on the side of his neck. Now, basically, this is where Naruto wake up, and he's basically saying, "Wow, that was a crazy, bizarre dream." But he basically starts saying that girl was pretty much looking hot and banging, and he basically, gets dressed and heads out. Now, as he's heading out, this is where people start to look at him and stuff, as they're not looking at him as hatred. They're looking at him at all like they want to, have his children. And some of the ninjas that did hate Naruto begins to start turning gay and wants to, have some fun with Naruto. You could say, get dominated by Naruto. Now, we're gonna say this is where as Naruto's, walking to the Robin guy. The Robin guy looks at Naruto and says, Naruto," and basically stops. This is where Naruto says, What happened? Is there something on my face?" Which the Robin guy says, "Oh my God, Naruto! I didn't know your eyes were so beautiful and had beautiful face and hair." Which the Robin daughter comes in and basically, says, "Oh hey Naruto," which he stops at his tracks and sees Naruto too. Now this is where Naruto is confused and trying to figure out what the hell is going on until he basically, leaves the ramen shop and he forgets to pay, which the ramen guy says, "Oh no, it's fine, Naruto. It's fine. Anything for you," which he gives, this, you could say, look. You know how you give the look of a person who wants to, have sex with you. Yeah, he gives him that look, which Naruto gets a little bit, weird out, but he says all right, and he starts going. Now this is where he's in the academy, and as he's going in, everybody's looking at him, as they can't, you could say, stop looking at him. They're too affectionate, like they want him, they need him. You could say. Now this is where you could say pretty much we all have the I can't stop, but pretty much this is where you could say, well, yeah, this is where you can say this is where the part where Naruto is basically saying, oh, they're probably gonna say something rude to me or something. This is where Sakura, she is a ballsy one, and she runs in and she kiss pretty much well, you could say tongue kiss Naruto in front of everybody. Now, of course, Sasuke, he is, wants to, do Naruto too. Well, you could say wants to get banged by Naruto, and he begins to get real mad. Where you could say Hinata pushes Sakura out the way. It says it's Naruto was supposed to be I was supposed to be Naruto's first kiss, and she pretty much kissed down Naruto. And Naruto, he's bright red as a tomato, and he doesn't know what's going on, and he has a boner. Now, of course, this is where we're gonna say an 18 plus part come in, and basically this is where Hinata pushes Naruto, and she begins to buck up, well, pull down his pants and pretty much shows his penis. Now, see, since now he's the harem god, he has a little bit of a buff, as he has a buff in physical paralysis and stuff, and also that buff in stamina paralysis. And yeah, he got a buff in his pants, so he got a little bit of a bigger inch. So this is where the girls see, and they're pretty much all at his junk stuff, but pretty much they're at all about his junk, and they begins to start well, you could say Hina's about to give him the good 9,000 until Naruto pushes her away, because in front of everybody, that's a little bit crazy, and he begins to start, running away and heads in his house and confused of what the fuck is going on. Now, I'm doing good, Oscar, but let me continue with the story. Pretty much, Naruto is, confused and trying to figure out what the hell is actually going on. And this is where he starts to remember, putting his head together and starts to remember that the woman, you could say, the goddess, or you could say Cupid, gave him this power. Now, of course, Naruto is thinking about it and says, huh, okay, well, well, I see why these girls are after me and stuff. But this is where Naruto begins to, go in his bathroom and look in the mirror. And this is where he sees his hair is different. And I know what y'all was about to say. I know y'all gonna say right now. And y'all gonna say, what the fuck? But it has to be a part of this plot. It has to be a part of this plot. Naruto looks in the mirror and his hair is pink. His eyes is pink. And he basically says, what the fuck it happened? This is where the goddess appears and says, well, you're becoming a god. Which this is where Naruto says, yeah, with pink hair. Which pretty much the goddess starts laughing and saying, oh, yeah, it's your your transition of becoming the harem god. Now, of course, this is where I guess you could say Naruto says, "Well, all right," and he begins to goes back to bed. Now, the next day, well, you could say later that night in the midnight, Naruto is pretty much sleeping. Uh, thanks, thanks, Oscar. But this is where you could say Naruto is opening his eyes a little bit, and he sees pretty much a Ambu ninja, or a ninja, a random ninja, and we're just gonna say this is an Ambu ninja trying to assassinate Naruto, a female one. Begins to giving him head, and he says, "What the hell?" And she pretty much says to stand still, and he's basically trying to get up, but it's too good. The good gut is too good. And let's say since Naruto is basically a harem god, anyone who sees Naruto or affected by Naruto will want to give their 100% all, as they will give their dedication of body to make Naruto satisfied and happy. So she's basically giving that nice, good head, you could say. And Naruto, he's pretty much saying, "Oh my God, this is some good head." And he pretty much nuts in the mouth. Now, after she used to say after she gulps down his cum, Naruto basically says, "What the fuck?" He basically says, What the hell? Who are you?" Which she basically explains that she's a. You could say after she saw his cum, well, say, "What the hell? Why'd you do that for?" Which that she begins to explain that she basically, well, she basically was here to kill him, but when she saw him, she just couldn't keep her eyes off of him. The cum bandit. Yeah, and Naruto begins to ask her more questions, which she begins to explain everything to Naruto, including spilling the beans that he's the Nine-Tailed Cherokee, and also he's, Minato's and Kushina's son, which Naruto is getting all that stuff. But after, you could say after that, Naruto pretty much, got all the information he need, and this is where Naruto's about to say thank you, and he's about to head out to pretty much get some fresh air until she grabs his hand and says, "Wait, can they, do it?" Which Naruto is thinking and saying, you know, he doesn't want to die as a virgin, so he might as well go for it. Now, this is where Naruto, throws her to the bed because we're gonna say it has a little bit of side effect of being a little bit aggressive, and he begins to start taking off her clothes and stuff, and he starts getting her dressed, and he starts plowing her. Now, as he's plowing the Ambu, assassin, he's pretty much, getting good hits and hitting it from the back, switching precisions, like I always say, the hitting all the legendary precisions that regular people is not supposed to see. And this is where you could say, done nut in the sauce. Now, after you could say he nut in the wound, he has the power to pretty much, well, nah, he doesn't have the power to control to control people who can have get pregnant or not. So yeah, you could say he makes his first debut of getting a person pregnant, and he pretty much yeah, call it. He pretty much gets get back up, and he pretty much heads outside. Now, as he's heading outside, he's pretty much thinking and saying, "So the fourth Hokage is my father, and my mother was Kushina." Now, this is where Naruto is, thinking about this, and this is where you could say the Ambu assassin, or you could say the cum bandit, comes right behind Naruto, hugging him, pretty much naked, and basically saying to come back to bed. Which Naruto says, uh, you could say this is where they go back and do it again. Now the next day, this is where Naruto is trying to do the test, and he pretty much fails at it since Naruto is the harem god. They pretty much look at him in beauty, and says, "Oh, it's okay if you messed up. We still passed you. We still passed you. You know." Which Naruto is saying, "Okay," and he pretty much goes. So the part of stealing the scroll won't really be necessary, but we just do it for shits and giggles, just to get the meme going, get this goddamn funny, shit clusterfuck going, and pretty much, we're gonna say he fails, but he can come back again, and he doesn't have to do another year in the academy, which Naruto is happy about, and he leaves. Now, as Naruto's happy about it, this is where Mitsuki comes in, and he, well, yeah, this is where Mitsuki comes in, and he basically comes to Naruto, and basically, confronts Naruto. Well, basically looks at Naruto, and basically sees him and starts to blush. Now, you could say Mitsuki is basically looking down. Well, basically looking away, is saying, "Naruto, if you can take the scroll of skilling for me and bring it to me," and he's stuttering at the same time because, like I said, he's under effects. And Naruto, basically agrees because he wants to pass, and he basically grabs the scroll and starts heading. Now, of course, Hiruzen lets him grab the scroll. Like, he goes to Hiruzen and basically, says, hey, oh man, can I get the scroll ceiling? Which, for Miski, which, Hiruzen, you know, says for Miski, which, Naruto explains that he will let him pass, which Hiruzen, is trapped under effects, says, oh, of course, Naruto, of course. Go ahead, you know, which, he touched Naruto's hand, which Naruto is a little bit, raising an eyebrow, but he goes. Now, as he's going, pretty much, yeah, as he's going with the scroll, no ninjas are really chasing after him or anything because, like I said, like if they did chase after him, they'd just be caught under his effect. But this is where Naruto goes to the forest and he pretty much opens up the scroll and sees the techniques. Now, in canon, he's going to learn the Multi-Shot Clone Jutsu, but he will now learn to find Raijin, but not perfect it because Naruto is a little bit more intelligent in this. I should probably said, but he's a little bit more intelligent in this. But he learns to find Raijin, but not perfect it. Now, this is where I guess Naruto has the scroll ceiling, and Aruka comes in. Well, basically comes in and says, "Wait a minute, Naruto, what are you doing with that scroll?" Which Naruto turns around, and when he does a turn, he does like you could say a turn around and says, "Huh? Oh, Aruka." Which this is where Aruka, as well, what Aruka sees right now is a Naruto turning, and you could say taking off his shirt and stuff, which Naruto is trying to snap Aruka out of it. Which Aruka says, "Oh, what are we doing here?" Which Naruto basically explains what he was doing, and he was going to pass. Which Aruka says, "Wait, Miski?" Which this is where Aruka knows that Miski is the traitor. Now, this is where Miski throws the shuriken at Naruto, but this is where he suddenly, makes a mistake and says, "Oh no, my lover," which he basically says that and he jumps in. Now, as he jumps in, he basically takes his own attack, which Naruto says, well, not Ruka. Miski basically takes his own attack, which Naruto says Miski, which Miski get hit like in his like chest. So Miski's down on the ground, coughing up blood, saying Naruto, which Naruto runs up to Miski and says, "Why did you do it? Why did you throw your own shuriken, take your own blunt hit?" Which pretty much, pretty much you could say pretty much Miski looks at Naruto and says that he did it because he loved him, and and he pretty much just dies off. He dies off. He just dies. Which Naruto doesn't really feel bad, but he kind of feels bad a tiny bit, but don't really because he was trying to kill him. But this is where we get to the next part, and I guess Ruka pretty much just give him his headband. Now, I guess we just go to the next part, and this is where Naruto's in the basically graduating. Well, we're just gonna say they have a graduation, and Naruto has to, makes a speech because all the girls voted him to make the speech. This is where Naruto stands up and says that he never thought he would actually pass and stuff, and pretty much thanks everybody for thanks pretty much says that everybody's is he just make up some speech, but basically the girls well yep, basically this is where all the girls are basically saying, "Oh my god, Naruto," and stuff, and some of them are saying like, "He's my baby," and all that, which Naruto is basically just waving and going away. Now, after he goes away, after he goes away and stuff, he starts heading home, which this is where as he's heading home, basically or no, basically he's in his house and he gets a knock on the door. This is where Hinata is basically there, and also Sakura, and fucking some, I guess, tea if he has some. Well, yeah, we're gonna say he has some tea, which he basically makes them some tea. They all thanks him and stuff, which they're basically, all looking down, holding their, legs together or having their hands together, which Naruto's saying is something happened, is something wrong, which pretty much this is where Hinata basically says that well, this is where basically Hinata says that she wants Naruto to be her first. And also this is where Sakura says it, and also Ino says it too. Now, of course, this is where um Naruto is a little bit stunned by this, and they say they want him to be there first. Now, of course, this is where Naruto, doesn't say no, and he begins to do his multi Shaolin jutsu. Now, this is where he starts, you could say, doing it with them, and he pretty much is using his clones and stuff, and you could say experimenting. And this is where, yeah, he's pretty much having sex with them. Now he's pretty much doing them, and he has the ability to modify their body because why not? And they're basically doing, well, you could say doing it, and basically Naruto is modifying their body and all that stuff. And you could say he you could say he nuts in all of them, and basically put his seeds in them. So yeah, but after that, Naruto's pretty much laying in a bed with all of them. Well, yeah, all of them, and he's pretty much yeah, he's pretty much sitting in the bed, sitting in the bed thinking that he's pretty much he can get anything he wants, and he starts to thinking maybe he can become Hokage early. Now, of course, this is where Naruto goes up to Hiruzen and asks Hiruzen to become Hokage if Hiruzen dies, or if he can become Hokage early. Of course, this is where Hiruzen, says you can become Hokage right now, which Naruto says really, which Hiruzen basically smiles and says yeah. Now this is where Naruto becomes Hokage much earlier, as in canon, as extremely much earlier. Now Naruto's pretty much sitting at the Hokage seat and pretty much saying, "Wow, so this is what it feels to be in the Hokage seat and stuff." Now this is where how can I say this? This is where oh god, yeah, this is where Naruto is like sitting at the Hokage seat, and he basically knows that he's not ready yet. So Naruto says, "Okay, I know I'm not ready yet, so I should probably get my intelligence up before I kill the village." And he basically tells Hiruzen that he will become Hokage when the time is right. He's not ready, which Hiruzen says, "But when you're ready, basically let me know." Which Naruto says, "All right." Now Naruto basically goes to the academy and basically takes a seat. Now all the teams are the same. When they basically call Sakura Haruno, Sakura is basically excited to be with Naruto, and Sasuke he's excited to be with Naruto too because, like I said, it affects guys too, and they're pretty much which I'm gonna say the boys and the girls are pissed off that they're not on Naruto's team, and this is where they're pretty much waiting for the instructor. Now, as they're waiting for the instructor, pretty much Naruto is just sitting down and stuff, and he starts to, we're just gonna say for shits and giggles, he lays down on Sasuke's lap. Well, on Sasuke's lap, pretty much using it as a pillow, which Sasuke begins to blush and say Sasuke asks Naruto what is he doing, which Naruto says, "What do you mean? I'm putting my head on your lap," which pretty much Sasuke is like looking away, blushing, which Uh, of course, this is where Sakura asks Naruto. Well, asks Naruto, does he want? Well, does she? Do you want me to do your feet? Which Naruto is basically about to say no to her, but he sees the sadness, puppy dog eyes, and he basically says, "All right." Now, this is where this is where you could say, as that's happening, Kakashi goes in and what school do I mean, what school do I go to school? Charlestown. I just say Charlestown. But pretty much, this is where Kakashi comes in late. But as you look, I said Charlestown High School, but this is where Kakashi looks at the team, and he pretty much sees Naruto. Now, of course, like I said, it affects everybody. So Kakashi starts, instantly, gets the butterflies and stuff, and he's basically getting affected by Naruto. Now Naruto pretty much, gets up and says, "Ah, Kakashi Sensei," which this is where Kakashi, looks away and begins to tell everybody to meet up on the rooftop. Now, oh, okay. This is where you could say, wow, 20 people, goddamn. Well, this is where you could say Naruto is up on the roof, which everybody else, which Kakashi basically is like says all about himself, and this is where Sakura says a little bit the same thing, but she's looking at Naruto. Also, pretty much Sasuke is the same, but he also says that he wants to repopulate the Uchiha. Well, repopulate the Uchiha, which he's looking at Naruto, which Naruto is pretty much, a little bit eyebrows, a little bit is up, which he says, "Oh," and pretty much Naruto's is a little bit different as his is a little bit the same, but he says that he's going to become Hokage when he gets much smarter, when he gets the proper education, which he's gonna, do the books. Now this is where Kakashi, says all right, and he tells them to all meet up in the rooftop. I mean, not in the rooftop. The meet them at the training field tomorrow for the test, for the bell test, and don't eat or you're gonna barf. Which this is where Naruto agrees and all of them agrees. But Kakashi stops Naruto and tells everybody else to go. Which this is where Kakashi pretty much goes up to Naruto. Uh, I should probably tell you. Yeah, goes up to Naruto and basically, puts his shoulder on Naruto and says, "Oh, Naruto, you can eat. They can't eat, but you, I let you. I give you a exception." Which Naruto, thanks him, but he says he's going to, be with his team members and not eat. Which Kakashi says it's okay. It's fine if you don't have to do that. But he sees all right. Now we're gonna say Naruto goes home, and this is where I guess I say this is the little bit of a extra stuff. So if you don't like Naruto and Sasuke having sex right now, please, please get out. Please get out this kitchen because, like I said, I already talked to a person about this. I already told a person about this, which um Loki Uchiha. Yeah, Loki Uchiha already knows what's going to happen because I already said that that Naruto's going to be a bisexual. I already said Naruto's going to be bisexual, so yeah. If you don't like that stuff, please get out the kitchen because this shit's about to get spicy. Um, so pretty much this is where he gets a knock on the door, and it's Sasuke Uchiha. Now Sasuke pretty much, asks Naruto, "Can he come in?" Which Naruto says, "All right," and he basically, sits on the couch with Sasuke. Now this is where Sasuke and Naruto is basically talking to each other, and Sasuke he begins to, you could say, open up his feelings to Naruto, basically saying the person he wants to kill is his brother Itachi, which Naruto is paying attention, is listening and stuff, and having a heartfelt moment. Now This is where you could say Sasuke begins to says that, ever since he saw Naruto, at first, he didn't really like him, but he starts having mixed feelings and starts having feelings for him. Now, this is where I'm going to get to the part, anyways, and this is where Sasuke starts getting close to Naruto, which Naruto is looking at Sasuke, and this is where Sasuke makes a move and kisses Naruto. Now, Naruto is about to, push away Sasuke, but Naruto, like I said, since he's the harem god, blessed by the goddess, his sex change is more like he's still a male, but he's a bisexual, so he does man and women. And this is where they start making out and stuff. Now, this is where I guess you can say this is the BL part. And Naruto starts, taking off his shirt. Sasuke starts taking off his shirt, and it starts, getting extra spicier. Now, this is where Naruto basically, you could say gets the. This is where Naruto gets the, you could say the stuff to loosen Sasuke's butt, and he starts. Well, we're gonna say he starts fingering Sasuke's butt, which Sasuke starts to moan because it's not pain but pleasure. But he starts to moan. Now, after Naruto loosened up the butt, this is where he basically sticks his penis in the butt and he starts doing Sasuke from the back. Now, at first he's doing it. At first, now he's doing it in the front, and then he switched precision and doing it in the back, and then he switched it back, and then he basically, the nut in the butt, nut in the butt. So, yeah. Now, after you could say that, Sasuke and Naruto is pretty much laying down. I probably might get they you two might take this down, but after that, Naruto and Sasuke is laying on the couch, pretty much with covers, which uh Sasuke pretty much says that he never opened up to anyone and he was really not telling no one about himself, but he feels like he can trust him and tell him a lot of stuff, which Naruto, gives him a smile and says he's glad to hear that, you could say. Now, I guess this is where we get to the next part, to the next day of the bell test. And this might not be a movie. I might have to make parts of this, but pretty much this is where Naruto and Sasuke is much earlier than Sakura, and pretty much waiting for Kakashi. This is where Sasuke is like blushing and basically well move his hand to Naruto's hand, which Naruto knows what Sasuke trying to do, and he basically feels bad of pretty much dominating Sasuke of doing him in the butt. So he basically just holds his hand and and basically Sasuke is blushing in happiness. Now this is where Sakura comes in and Sasuke, sees Sakura and also Naruto. Naruto basically is saying, "Oh hey Sakura," which Sakura is basically saying, "Am I late?" Which Naruto says, "Nah, more like Kakashi is late." And and Sakura sees that Naruto's holding hand with Sasuke, which Sakura is saying, "Why are you holding hands with him? I was supposed to be the one that hold your hand." Which Naruto says, "I can hold your hand too." Which Sakura blushes and is incitement and basically holds Naruto's other hand. Now, as they're waiting, pretty much this is where Kakashi comes in, saying he's like he's sorry he lost his way in real life. This is where Sasuke does the same thing as usual in canon, which Naruto says, "Now, give Kakashi a break. He probably was doing something important. He's probably just hiding it for a lie." Which Kakashi, basically you could say says yeah, and he was visiting a grave of his two comrades, which this is where Naruto feels sad for Kakashi, and also Sasuke he feels kind of bad. Now, this is where they be at the field, and pretty much Kakashi is explaining. is explaining about what to really do, well, what to do, and basically explains that there's only two bells and one of them will get sent back, which Naruto's afraid because Naruto has been training, but like I said, his chakra training is fucking garbage. I mean, his chakra control is pretty fucking bad. So this is where you could say Naruto. Well, you could say this is where Kakashi immediately just like initiate and says go, which everybody scatter, including Naruto this time because Naruto has been doing the books. You could say has been doing the books and basically starts heading to hiding. Now, as Naruto's basically hiding, this is where Sasuke and Sakura appear and basically asks what's the plan, which Naruto was about to go to them, but I guess they came to him and basically, asks what's the plan. Now, Naruto basically explains the plan to them and basically say okay. Now, this is where Naruto basically creates two clones, and basically send them out to Kakashi. Well, he sends out the two clones. The first clone basically starts throwing kunai everywhere, and the second clone starts trying to combat with Kakashi, but Kakashi is just clown the shit out of the first clone. And the second clone basically disperse. Now, this is where Naruto jumps out and he basically charges at Kakashi. Now, this is where Kakashi is about to kick Naruto. Well, not really. This is where Kakashi is about to let Naruto hit him and basically, take a bell until Naruto basically teleports away, which Kakashi is shocked. And this is where Naruto says, "Now, Sasuke," and Sasuke pretty much does a handstill and shoots a fireball at Kakashi, which Kakashi is too distracted of what Naruto just did and hurry up and jumps out the way before he got burnt. Now, this is where, of course, Kakashi is, saying, okay, they're using teamwork until he realized that he forgot about Sakura. Now, this is where Sakura pretty much comes in and, well, you could say comes in and pretty much runs and holds down Kakashi while Naruto and Sasuke runs in and grabs the two bells. Now, after he grabs the two bells, Kakashi pretty much, looks at them and pretty much smiles and pass them for using teamwork. And also, well, no, he actually passed Naruto and Sasuke, but he fails Naruto. I mean, fails Sakura. This is where Naruto basically splits a bell in half and says, "Nah, she's gonna be joining us too." Which regularly, I know what y'all thinking. Why would you let Sakura basically, continue being on Team Seven? Listen, it's all part of the plot. I don't know what else to say. It's all part of the plot. And basically, Kakashi does the same speech, and basically, blushes a little bit because he thought he was badass for saying that in front of Naruto, which Naruto, is aspired, and basically, goes. Now, after that, they starts to do missions. Now, as they're doing missions, this is where Naruto gets sick of doing these little missions and asks, goes to Hiruzen and demands a higher mission. This is where you could say they start this is where Hiruzen, agrees with Naruto and basically gives him a higher mission, and it's basically a sea mission to protect Tarzan. Now this is where Tarzan comes in and basically, looks at the team and he looks at Naruto. This is where he, starts to get the feelings and stuff, and he immediately shows a bulge or shows a boner, which he immediately covers, which Sakura, looks away, and Sasuke he looks away, which Naruto says, oh my, which Taza says, my bad. And basically Kakashi, he's about to whoops Taza's ass. You could say. Now, this is where, Taza talk his shit since he saw Naruto. And they basically start going. Well, he does talk shit about Sakura and Sasuke, but Naruto told him, hey, don't be doing that to my comrades. But anyways, this is where we're gonna go, and you could say as they're going and leaving the village, this is where Naruto is, like I said, a little bit smarter, begins to look at the puddle and says, "It haven't even rained in a month, or in months and weeks." This is where, of course, Kakashi noticed that Naruto noticed that this is not right and is proud that Naruto can see. Now, this is where the two demon brothers come in. Mm, actually, what the hell? This is where the two demon sisters come. Nah, fuck it. This is where the two demon brothers comes in, and they pretty much, is about to charge at Kakashi until Naruto jumps in and about to get into a fighting stance to protect Kakashi. Until the demon brothers stop and they, like I said, got trapped by the gaze, the beauty of Naruto. Now this is of course they, stop attacking and they back away, basically saying, which Naruto realized that they pretty much got them, begins to start walking slowly up to them, and he basically, grabs both of them and says, who are they? And which they begin, well, you could say Naruto grabs both of their, uh, well, yeah, we're gonna say Naruto grabs both of their hands, giving them that sexy look and says his name, and the demon rose, like I said, is blushing behind the mask, and they begins to be, you could say, trapped by his, you could say, harem power. Now this is where Naruto asks who they are and stuff, which this is where the demon brothers spilled the whole beans since they caught by his, elusive. And this is where Naruto is saying, huh, which Kakashi looks at Tazan, which Tazan is basically saying sorry, which Naruto walks up to Tazan and says, it's okay, like, it's okay, it's not really your fault, it's not really your fault, and you just didn't have enough money. We can still continue the mission, which this is where Kakashi agrees. Well, agrees because, well, he would have, called for backup, but since Naruto is the harem god, he agrees with him because he wants Naruto's dick. But other than that, uh, this is where Tazan's blush. I mean, yeah, Tazan blush, and they continue going with the Demon Brothers because Naruto asked the Demon Brothers to help him out. Now, this is where, as Naruto's going, this is where they see a mist and stuff, and this is where a flying sword comes in as original kin, and Kakashi tells everybody to duck. This is where everybody's ducking and stuff, and this is where, of course, the original as canon, Zabuza appears on his sword, and he looks at everybody. But this is where, oh, I should probably say, Zabuza a female. I should have said that. Yeah, female Zabuza looks around and basically is looking. This is where she sees, well, Naruto, and she gets caught by his, like I said, gaze. Now, this is where she explains herself, and she's blushing and she's stuttering a little bit as she's saying, My name is Zabuza, and I'm one of the legendary swordsmen." With as she's looking at, Naruto and looking away, which Naruto, smiles and, says, "Well, my name is Naruto Uzumaki." Believe it, which is where, you know Zabuza begins to start getting a little bit wet. You could say a little bit wet. That's the little bit of taste of wet. Now, this is where Naruto basically, uses his talk no sex jutsu and begins to, start flirting with Zabuza, saying, wow, she's a strong woman to carry that big ass weapon and shit. Which, she starts blushing even more and stuff. And Naruto, basically asks her to join them on this thing, on this adventure, and also that she'll be a great, ally for the Leaf, which she basically, falls head over heels for Naruto and agrees. Which this is where Zabuza tells Haku to come out. Now, of course, this is where female Haku, yes, Haku's a female in this, comes out and basically starts, taking a knee and saying that her name is Haku. And she looks at Naruto and she begins to start blushing behind the mask, which Naruto can sense that, she's blushing. And basically, Zabuza explains that they're going to be working with Naruto and they're going to go back to Leaf and serve Naruto. Which Haku, wherever Zabuza goes, she goes. So she basically agrees and they all heads to Tazna house. Now, I know what y'all saying. There's no fight. The fight never happened because Naruto's a harem god, and plus Naruto can trap anyone in his gaze of looks. including Madara, which that's gonna be a funny. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny later on. But anyways, Naruto's basically at Taza house, and they're all just there and stuff. Now this is where Kakashi's about to teach Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura how to water walk and tree walk. Well, or we're going to just say tree walk, which this is where as they're doing that, Zabuza wants to train Naruto personally how to tree walk and also how to water walk. Well, we're gonna say Zabuza wants to teach Naruto how to personally water walk and tree walk, which Naruto accepts the offer and they starts doing a private session of the tree walk and water walk. Now the first they did the tree walk and Naruto gets it with the second try with ease. Now this is where Naruto's about to do the same thing with water walk, but this is where we're gonna say Zabuza tells Naruto to meet her at a certain location, which Naruto agrees upon. Now this is where Naruto's at a hot springs, and I could say this is where an 18 part comes in. So get ready. This is where Naruto is basically looking around for Zabuza, and Zabuza, she's pretty much well, we're gonna say Naruto's looking around for Zabuza at the hot springs, and Naruto really can't find her. So he basically, says, well, might as well go in the hot springs. Now this is where Naruto's getting undressed and he goes in the hot springs and stuff. Basically just chilling there. Now as that pretty much happened, this is where Zabuza comes in, pretty much wrapped around a robe, pretty much blushing. Which Naruto, like I said, oh, so this really wasn't training at all. Now, I'm just gonna have to do a pause right here. This will be like part one of What If Naruto Was the Harem God? You could say remake. So, if y'all like, this will be good. And also, yeah, thank y'all all guys for like listening and watching. Well, listening in of this live broadcast and stream. I will be doing a part two, not on live. What you want me to? Oh, okay, okay. If everybody wants me to keep going, if everyone wants me to keep going, say hashtag show must go on. If I see like 5 hashtags, the show must go on, then I will continue. But if I don't get 5, then at least an hour. Okay, at least to an hour. Okay, all right. I keep going. I keep going for y'all guys. I keep going for y'all guys. So this is where the show must go on. All right, guys. All right, guys. All right, I got y'all. I got y'all. Okay. So basically, Naruto sees Zabuza pretty much, wrapped around the towel and stuff, and pretty much sees her blushing and looking away. Which Naruto says, how about you undo your robe and let me see your body?" Which pretty much she does it, and Naruto begins to say, "You have a beautiful body," which Zabuza, she's looking away, pretty much blushes and says, "Thank you." Now this is where Zabuza asks, "Can she watch his back?" Which Naruto says, of course. Now, she's pretty much watching his back and stuff, which Naruto is pretty much, saying this is the first time he ever had a woman to actually watch his back, or you could say a female ever watched his back. And he pretty much turns around and pretty much says, "Now, let me do yours." Which, yeah, he's doing it. Now, this is where Zabuza, she can't really wait. And basically lays Naruto, on the, you could say, ground. Now, this is where she pretty much hops on top of him and says that she wants him. Now, of course, Naruto doesn't, deny, and they start to do it. Now, Naruto pretty much does a little bit something different, and as he's pretty much, bites down on her neck because he's a little bit of a, aggressive, like I said, aggressive person, and he bites down on the neck and basically makes her moan, and he's sticks it in there, pretty raw, you could say, and going in and out, which she's enjoying it. Now you could say it's not painful as if when Naruto has sex with someone or basically do a single thing to them or even say a word, they start to get wet and start to feel pleasure. Even if Naruto's not touching them, they start to feel pleasure. So now this is where you could say Naruto found out that he can use a special use ability where he can create enemic objects and stuff such as spikes or weapons. But this is where he has a kink and he basically makes a handcuff, like makes a handcuff and pretty much like well yeah, basically make a handcuff and basically wrap well use the handcuffs and basically arrested her and put it on her back, which Naruto basically said that he wanted to do this with someone, but he never could find a perfect person to do it with, which he basically tells her to, bend down and suck his dick, suck his penis, you could say. And, she begins to give him the good 9,000 without no hands. And Naruto, you know, is feeling it and stuff, and he nuts in the mouth. Now, after he nuts in the mouth, he basically, pretty much lays her back down again with the handcuffs, and he begins to start doing her, starts hitting her raw, and she starts, feeling the pleasure. Now, as he's doing her, she starts to produce milk, and the milk, is coming out her tits while Naruto's doing her, and she's feeling the pleasure, while Naruto's also feeling the pleasure. This is where he, done nut 5,000. Now, how many people was pregnant by Naruto? Well, Naruto already did 3 people, and also now did Zabuza, so it's like now 4 pregnant people. Keep in mind. So yeah, um, yeah, this is where I guess we get to the part where the bridge builder part happened. Well, before we get to the bridge builder part, I might as well finish the rest. This is where Naruto basically, is basically cleaning himself up, and Zabuza is still on the ground, pretty much, knocked out after Naruto just did well, you could say did female Zabuza. Basically just, wrapped a towel, put a towel on her and just let her lay there. Now we're gonna get to the bridge part, and Naruto, Zabuza, Haku, they're all pretty much is you're talking about the BL? Yeah, I already did it with Sasuke, but pretty much this is where yeah, everybody is just waiting at the bridge, and the mafia guy pretty much have all his henchmen ready to fight, which we're gonna say there's another one, a powerful henchman who's a samurai, but he has a kinky guy where he can use the wind. Well, basically, summon invisible. Well, we're gonna say he can summon dead comrades, not as a reincarnation, but like not as like a remation, but something like that. Now they begin to have their fight, which Naruto is about to fight the henchman and stuff, which this is where they all looks at Naruto and they immediately fall head over heels for Naruto. This is where the guy is basically saying, "What are you guys doing? Kill him!" Which Naruto looks at them and says, "I I make y'all my pets." Which this is where Naruto says the funny thing. It says, I make y'all my pets if y'all kill the mafia boss guy." Which this is where they all get their weapons and they kill him. Now, the bridge will be named the Great Naruto Bridge or the Great Valentine Naruto, just for shit and giggles. And the henchman, or you could say the henchman that was owned by the mafia guy, yeah, they pretty much work for Naruto now. So Naruto pretty much has an army of bandits and ninjas. Now this is where Naruto's heading back in the village and stuff. And as he's heading back in the village, pretty much, uh, everybody sees that it's like a whole group of men and just Naruto in the middle, as they're like you could say protect him like the president, and everybody's pretty much looking at him and stuff. which they're all excited to see Naruto. Like I said, many people saw Naruto, and they're all caught in his graze, including Hiruzen. This is where Naruto is back and saying the mission was a success, and he got new people to help out in the Leaf, which of course Hiruzen's happy about that, but he's also happy that Naruto is back in the Leaf now. I guess this is where we're gonna do say a couple of days pass by. Naruto is basically training with Sasuke and Sakura, and also he's training with the henchmen. Well, you could say the bandits and the swordsmen, all of them, and also training with Zabuza, female Zabuza, of the Way of the Sword, because we're gonna say he wants to learn how to use a sword and stuff. Now, of course, this is where we're gonna say a couple days pass and stuff, and Naruto has been plowing a couple of women now, and I should probably say what people he plowed. He plowed pretty much. Well, he plowed Tenten. Yeah, he plowed Tenten. Mm, you know, again, Sakura. Yeah, he was just plowing, and he was plowing the Robin Noodle guy daughter's daughter. So yeah, and also Haku. Yeah, he was plowing Haku too. So that was a lot of people. Now we're just gonna do the day of the Chunin exams, and this is where Kakashi wants pretty much this is where he asks them, well, he wants them to do the Chunin exams because he thinks his team can handle it, especially Naruto with his beautiful looks. Now, oh yeah, with his beautiful oops. Now this is where Kakashi does the test only to Sasuke and Sakura, which they pass because he's not gonna do it to Naruto. And they basically go up to the next floor. Now, this is where Rock Lee. Well, how can I say this? Well, this is where everybody sees Team Seven, and they're all looking at Naruto with beautiful awe and blushing. Oh yeah, Jay is my brother. This is where yeah, everybody's looking at Naruto with awe and stuff. This is where Rock Lee, challenged Sasuke into a fight, which uh he pretty much challenged Sasuke into a fight with for Naruto's love, which Naruto basically is saying that's not really necessary. Y'all really don't have to fight. Which Sasuke says, "Bet I'll beat your ass." Which Rock Lee says, "All right, bet." Now this is where they get into their fighting stance, and as in canon, Rock Lee pretty much beats Sasuke ass and stuff. But this is where Naruto says, he's amazed by Rock Lee's fight and begins to challenge Rock Lee to a fight. Which, as Rock Lee is saying, no, I would never lay my hands on you. Which Naruto's saying he has to test out his strength somehow, and he won't get mad at him if he, damage him and stuff. Which Rock Lee, says, all right, and Naruto begins to fight with Rock Lee. Now, Naruto is, fighting with Rock Lee, but Rock Lee is like you could say holding his punches against Naruto as he's holding his punches, trying not to really do fatal blows on Naruto or not trying to make him cough up blood or anything. This is where Naruto yells at Rock Lee and says, "Rock Lee, if you don't show me your true power right now and give me your full power, I'm not gonna I'm not even gonna let you near me or either get to talk to me or see me." Which this is where Rock Lee, gets serious because he, like I said, he he likes Naruto, and he begins to start charging at Naruto. Now Naruto, is taking the point first and taking attack damage from Rock Lee. This is where Rock Lee's about to go in the eighth gate. So a mic guy comes in and says, "Rock Lee, what are you doing?" Which this is where Rock Lee says, "Ah, Guy Sensei, I'm sorry, but Naruto told me to use my full power." Which Naruto says, Yes, it's my fault. I'm sorry." Which my guy, like I said, is affected by it, and he basically says, "Oh, nah, it's okay, Naruto. It's just my fault for intervening." Which Naruto says it's okay. Which they basically see each other later. Which Naruto says he sees Rock Lee later for training and stuff, and maybe in a fight, which Rock Lee, blushes and says, "All right." Now after that, pretty much I guess we go to the cheating test arc. I mean the cheating test park, and nothing really goes well. Everything goes differently. We're gonna say Naruto pretty much gets a free pass because since, like I said, he has the power, he has the beautiful ass look and that sexy ass look. No homo. He basically gets an automatic pass, which all the ninjas and stuff don't say anything, which the guy says, "Oh, Naruto, you don't have to do this, you pass automatically," which none of the ninjas say anything about it. They just shut up because they gonna let Naruto pass because he's sexy as fuck. No homo. Now this is where we get to the Forest of Death arc, and I guess we can say this is where Naruto is basically talking to, I forgot her name, Anko, yeah, Anko. Anko. I can't say the name right. I probably said it terribly, but she basically does the same thing, licks Naruto's blood, which Naruto does the same thing back to her, which she immediately gets wet and heads over heels for him, as saying, which Naruto says, "Whatever you can do, I can do better." What Inko? I can't say it right. Enko, if I'm correct. I said it. I always say it terribly, but basically, um, he does the same thing back at her, which she falls head over heels for him, and she basically explains the test and stuff, which Naruto. What is it, Inko or Enko? It's probably Inko. It doesn't matter. I mean, we're just gonna call her Inko. Not. I mean, we all know who I'm talking about. The fucking Orochimaru fucking disciple. So yeah. Oh, the second one, Enko. Okay. Well, basically, let's just continue. Okay. Basically, this is where you could say Naruto is about to go in there till she says that this is where she says that he doesn't have to do it. He can just go to the next part, which Naruto says nah, he wants to participate, and he basically goes in there now with his team. Now Naruto already knows that they have to get the other scroll, this like the different scroll, and they basically get it from the person. He basically creates a clone and goes to the person that has the scroll and asks, can he get the scroll? Now of course, this is where the team offer up the scroll. They don't care if they fail, as long as they get his attention. So he gets the scroll in. He basically goes back and they start heading. Now we're gonna say this is where, as they're going, they get attacked by Orochimaru. Now, this is where you could say Orochimaru comes in with the snakes, and this is a female Orochimaru, or yeah, female Orochimaru, and she basically comes in and attacks the Team Seven. Now this is where Naruto already got attacked by the snake, and the snake pushed Naruto away. So Orochimaru didn't see Naruto, really didn't see Naruto, but Naruto, yeah, got pushed away. Now this is where, as Naruto's getting pushed away by the snake, Naruto is fighting the snake. Now as he's fighting the snake, this is where the snake pretty much starts going around Naruto, and the snake pretty much wraps itself around Naruto, but not killing Naruto. No, staying beside Naruto. Now I know what you're thinking. Is Naruto going to f the snake? Is the snake going to f Naruto? No, but Naruto do have a charm on animals too. Yes, he has a charm on animals too. But pretty much, this is where Naruto is basically patting the snake, and the snake is pretty much making the slithering noise and glad to get hit by Naruto. Now this is where Naruto says, "Can you take me back to my friends?" Which the snake does that. Now as we're gonna say the big ass snake is going to Naruto. This is where Orochimaru already bit Sasuke's neck and got the fuck out of there. Which as he got the fuck out there. This is where Naruto runs in and basically sees that Naruto is hurt. I mean, not Naruto, Sasuke is hurt, and he thinks Sasuke is dead. Now, this is where, well, mm, actually, actually, let's just make it spicy, a little bit spicy, you could say, a little bit extra detail spice. Now, this is where Naruto comes in with the snake. Pretty much, the snake smacks Orochimaru away from Sasuke after Naruto saw that. Well, no, this is where Naruto sees that Orochimaru has Sasuke, you know, in a, up in the, up on a tree and stuff. Well, you could say towards the tree, neck tightening and stuff. And Orochimaru's still in the disguise. He didn't like undid the disguise. So Naruto sees that it's a random ninja having, Sasuke's lifeless body hanged up, and he's pissed off. He's heated. This is where he starts to, go in his first tail Chancheriki growth, and he charges at actually not three tails, and he starts to charge at Orochimaru and pretty much kicks Orochimaru in the face. Now, this is where Orochimaru backs up and basically is getting back up and sees that it's Naruto. Well, you could say sees Naruto. But this is where Orochimaru starts getting affected by the charms. Now, this is where, she's basically saying, well, Orochimaru, she basically saying, what is this feeling? She never felt this feeling before, which this is where she says what this feeling can be, which this is where Naruto is charging at Orochimaru and trying to go for the kill until Orochimaru says, I want, I want him to be my bride, you could say. And she pretty much goes down and him, bites Naruto down on the neck too. And she pretty much sees that Naruto is the Nine Tails of Cherokee, which this is where she finds out that this is Naruto's Maki, and she pretty much, hits Naruto with the seal. Pretty much, you could say fucking up his seal. Actually, tighten up the seal, make it a little bit too tight, and pretty much knocks out Naruto. Now, this is where she leaves, and Sakura is forced to pretty much does the same thing in canon, and pretty much takes the team and is protecting the team until they wake up. Now, Naruto is now in his mindscape right now, looking around, and this is where he sees the Naito's Jinchuriki. Now, I let y'all do a vote right now. If y'all want Kuroma to be a female and have a transformation to be, to have a half human transformation, as a Nine Tails fox, or you could say a Nine Tails fox female, say right now yes, and I will make Kurama a female and have a transformation. Okay. We only got like three people. All right. Now is your choice to get this donation in of the yes. Female Kurama, yes. All right. Kurama. All right. All right. All right. Y'all can stop now. Kurama is now a female. So this is where Naruto meets a female Kurama, which this is where Kurama, like, you can't tell Kurama is a female, but pretty much Naruto can notice that Kurama is a female because Kurama looks at Naruto and begins to start blushing, which Naruto says, "Who is she?" Which she starts to explain. Well, this is where she explains that she's a Naruto Cherokee and all that stuff, and pretty much Naruto already knows this, but he begins to ask uh the question. He begins to start asking the question of why did she destroy the village, which she said that it wasn't her doing. She was trapped under a genjutsu by Maru Uchiha. Now, of course, this is where Naruto says, huh, Maru Uchiha, I see. Which, this is where Naruto does his talk no sex jutsu. Well, kind of half talk no half sex no jutsu, and begins, befriend Kurama much earlier as in canon. Now, of course, this is where Kurama, transform into the half female, and like I said, she's gonna look banging hot with the nice big tits and ass. So no quality. That's that little details y'all need to know. And she begins to walk up to Naruto. Now, this is where she basically says for them to pretty much to become a powerful unit, they have to become one. Which Naruto saying one, what does that mean? Which she pretty much says that she's going to pretty much have a taste of Uzumaki, which this is where you could say they're doing it in the Mindscape, and you could say Naruto's pretty much clapping those cheeks like what's a good funny joke? He's pretty much clapping those cheeks like 1999 before it went to 2000. Now, after pretty much that, Naruto, well, we're gonna say this is where this is where you could say Naruto, well, yeah, this is where Naruto is I gotta finish this. I gotta finish the clapping. Naruto's pretty much clapping the cheeks, and he's basically, hitting it from the back and hitting it from the front. And he pretty much does the butt stuff too. And of course, he's sucking the milk from Kuroma, and he basically, done nut in Kuroma. Now, I know what you're thinking. Can Kuroma get pregnant? Is that even possible? Would that even be possible? Yes, yes, but it's going to. I make it work. Trust me, it's gonna work. I will tell you how it's gonna work. But other than that, let's continue the story. Pretty much, this is where the original as in canon, Sakura gets her ass beat by the fucking three soundless, and this is where they're about to, kill Sakura until Naruto wakes up first and basically is looking around. Well, yeah, this is where pretty much Naruto wakes up first and trying to figure out where the hell he's at, and he's pretty much sees Sakura is pretty much in trouble. This is where Naruto creates two clones, and well, you could say creates two clones, but it pretty much hurts his side of his neck. Well, his neck, shoulder, you could say, and well, yeah, and he begins to form the like half of the curse mark in rage after seeing her get hurt. So he pretty much kills the first ninja, and the second ninja he gets his neck snapped. Well, no, Sasuke wakes up next, and he pretty much peers right beside Naruto, well, right behind the other ninja, and breaks the guy arms and cannon. For the girl, Naruto pretty much just scares the shit out of her, and she pretty much piss her pants and runs off. Now, this is where I guess this is where Naruto and Sasuke don't know what the hell they have, but they begin to start going pretty much well, yeah, starts going, and they make it like a little bit earlier, well, a little bit on time, well, a little bit earlier as in canon, a little bit early as in canon, and they begin heading to the next part. Now, this is where you could say everything happens as original in canon, but they fight just as hard as in original in canon because due to Naruto and his cheering on and stuff. So this is where I guess we can say actually nah, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's break some rules a little bit. This is Naruto meets the two tails from Cherokee. I think her name is Yato. I forgot her name. But pretty much she appears well, pretty much is there, and Naruto looks at her and pretty much, looks at her and stuff, and pretty much waves because Kurama told Naruto that is the Two Tails Cherokee host, and the Two Tails is in there, which Naruto waves and pretty much talks to her, which she begins, starts blushing and stuff, and begins to start, hitting it off a little bit. Now, of course, this is where Naruto is about to start up his next match, and his next match is going to be with Kiba. Now, of course, this is where Kiba, is about to fight. Is you know, well, we're just gonna say this is where Naruto is ready to fight Kiba, but Kiba doesn't want to fight Naruto because, like I said, everybody, whoever sees Naruto, begins to falls in the trans effect and immediately falls in love with Naruto. This is where Kiba, disqualifies, says that he doesn't want to fight, which Naruto says he wants to, test out his strength, which Kiba says, nah, he's sorry. And he begins to, Naruto passes. Now, this is where everything else happens the same, except for like the two tails is pretty much in this, and she does her fight, but Naruto cheers on and she basically beats the opponent. Now, this is where, you know, oh, yeah, this is where Naruto sees Gar about to fight with Neji. Not Neji, Rock Lee. Actually, nah. Let's go to the fight between Hinata and Neji. Now, Hinata's pretty much fighting with Neji, and Neji, whoops Hinata ass much worse during canon. This is where Naruto sees that Neji's about to go for the final kill until Naruto takes Neji hand and pretty much, stops him from doing it and asks what the hell does he think he's doing, which Neji looks at Naruto and basically says that he's disposing a weak Hyuga member or a defect human member, which this makes Naruto a little bit pissed off and says that we're gonna see. We're gonna see who's the default Hyuga member. Which this is where Neji walks away. But as Neji's walking away, he's pretty much blushing because he's a little bit blushing. Neji's a little bit affected by Naruto. He's not 100% in it, but he's like a little bit affected. Now, this is where this is where everything happens else the same, except for like everything happens the same, except for Gar's looking at Naruto, and he pretty much blushes a little bit. But yeah, well, a psychopath blush, which Naruto gets a little bit, terrified. Not well, no, not terrified, but a little bit like, hey yo, you kind of did my man's dirty a little bit. Now, I guess this is where we get for the 2 months training or 2 weeks. I really can't remember. I was like, we're just gonna say 2 months just for shits and giggles. The 2 months training, and Naruto's pretty much looking for a mentor to get trained by, which this is where Hiruzen, calls in Naruto and basically says he found him a trainer, like, a powerful trainer. And it's one of the legendary Sanis, Jiraiya Sensei, which Naruto, is decided and, thanks Hiruzen. But Hiruzen says, oh, anything for you, Naruto. And basically, sends Naruto off. Now Naruto basically is looking for Jiraiya. And he sees Jiraiya, which this is where Jiraiya is doing his research. And Naruto says, "Huh, that must be Jiraiya." Hmm. And I guess he's a I guess he's a pervert. Now, I guess this is like part one of what if Naruto was the harem god. I will be doing a part two tomorrow, not as a live broadcast. Actually, I will might do it as a live broadcast. So this will be a part two tomorrow of a live broadcast. Maybe, maybe not, or maybe a video. But I'm Kishan Chia. Thank y'all all guys for watching and listening to my video and stuff. And the next part will be having a lot of extra details. But anyways, peace out guys and see you later. Actually, I kind of want to finish it. I kind of want to finish. I kind of want to finish it, but I don't. I don't know, guys. I kind of want to go to bed, but I don't. I'm too excited. My brain is active again.
Oh my god, you cheated on Taylor?
Actually, I can't. I don't even know how to pause the video. I forgot how to. I forgot how to
Oh my
stop
god,
the
you
video,
guys.
guys. I mean, if I'm gonna continue, I might as well play a game. All right, all right. I might as well continue. So let's see. I mean, yeah, I can't stop the video, so we might as well just continue. All right. I guess. All right. Let's do it. But first, we're gonna be playing the Naruto game. We're gonna play. We're not gonna be playing Among Us. We're gonna be playing a bootleg Naruto game. We're gonna be playing a bootleg Naruto game. Okay. All right, guys. So we're this is where we go to the part where yeah, Naruto meets Jiraiya Sensei. Now this is where I guess like Naruto meets Jiraiya, and then he begins to have a conversation with Jiraiya. Like this is where he goes to like Jiraiya conversation to him and stuff, and like starts talking to him and stuff, and get to know Jiraiya and all that. And as he like talks to Jiraiya and all that, he begins to, I guess like as he talks to Jiraiya stuff, he goes like and basically gets like training and stuff. I mean, I actually didn't win. I just don't know how to unpause this video. I mean, I don't know how to like pause the live broadcast. I mean, stop the broadcast. So yeah, this is like low-key a bootleg game. But yeah, this is where Naruto is getting training by Jiraiya. Jiraiya is pretty much training him. Is basically basically immediately accepts Naruto because like I said, he's under effects of Naruto. So basically, Naruto's getting training. I mean, yeah, this is where you could say Jiraiya basically this is where Jiraiya I'm gonna make it y'all guys saw that, right? Y'all saw what I did. That was a meme. I'll take that literally. Get rid of all that stuff. Y'all don't need to see none of that stuff. Y'all don't need to see my information. Y'all don't need to see my secret information. Do online games? Alright, bet. Hold on. I mean, what's a good online game? Oh yeah, Final Fantasy. There we go. We're gonna be playing Final Fantasy, guys. And all right, I play Among Us, but first I have to get the I have to uh, Let's see. Du- Alright. I regularly don't pull no strings, but oh yeah, I gotta look at the right one. First one or second one? Okay, I think the second mod menu was. Uh, okay. Boop boop. Don't tell no one about this. All right. I'm teaching y'all about my secret tricks. Okay. So while that's downloading, I might as well continue with the what if Naruto was the harem god. So yeah, Naruto pretty much meets with Jiraiya, and Jiraiya basically looks at Naruto and says, "Ah, so you must be Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. I heard about which." Naruto says, "Yes, yes, yes. I heard you Jiraiya Sensei, the legendary Sony." Which Jiraiya says, "Ah, so you heard about me?" Which Naruto, has a talk about yeah, basically talks to have a talk with Jiraiya, and basically Naruto asks, "Can Jiraiya train him?" Which Jiraiya happily agrees because, like I said, Jiraiya is under Naruto's effects. Now, this is where, sup King. This is where we have Naruto basically well, I guess gets training from Jiraiya. Now, this is where Naruto's training. This is where Naruto's training with Jiraiya and stuff, and basically, learning techniques and all that. And Jiraiya is teaching Naruto everything, including techniques that are not supposed to be learned. Well, yeah, Jiraiya's teaching Naruto everything, you could say. Oh, okay, that's a little tough. All right, I see them. But this is where Naruto teaches. Uh, hold on. Oh shoot! All right, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Look like y'all lost this. Fate was not on y'all side. I have a busy appointment meeting that's coming up soon. Sorry, guys. I wish I could continue, but I will continue tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Sorry.